Welcome back to another video on fishing for Lake Erie smallmouth. Before I start this video, I'd like to ask you guys to leave comments below on what do you want to see on these videos. Obviously, I'm going to run out of space for smallmouth videos and stuff like that. I plan in the springtime to do some walleye fishing, some walleye videos as well. Is that something you guys are interested in? Or do you want to see more smallmouth? Obviously, I'm going to do more smallmouth videos, but do you want to see the actual fishing? Do you want to see me teaching on the water? Do you want to see more spots? Obviously, if I do teaching videos or fishing videos, I'm going to give you guys exactly where I fished. That's what this channel's about. I want everyone that subscribes to be able to go out here and do the same thing and catch the fish that I'm catching, and maybe learn a thing or two to take on to the next spot. But please leave a comment below on what do you want to see on these videos. Okay, you're probably wondering why I'm located on Kelly's Island on the map right now, due to the title of the video being for Vermilion. Reason being is I want to show you the last spot that I fished in December and where and how I caught these fish. So the date was December 3rd, I believe. I think it was December 3rd. I fished the south side of Kelly's. Now I checked a few spots before I fished the south side. I checked up here on the northeast corner. I checked Carpenter's Point. Wasn't able to connect with anything in those spots. I was seeing fish on my live and side scan. I just couldn't get any fish to go until I got down to this south side. And this south side, for some reason, all year just holds fish. So where I was fishing on December 3rd was I started out here deep and I never left. So I fished like this 18-foot contour all the way out to 20 to 22 foot of water. And I was fishing isolated structure out here. There's some boulders, some piles, and there's obviously a steep drop off here that you can see on the graph. But what I was doing was just roaming around with the live and picking out boulders. Didn't necessarily see the fish, but I was casting at the boulders and catching the fish off the boulders. So those fish were tight to the bottom or tight to that boulder to where I couldn't see separation on my live sonar. But that's the last place I fished. So next December, that's definitely a good spot to try. Okay, let's move on to the title of this video and where I've done well in tournaments in the past. Now, this area is between, I guess, I'm not sure if that's Vermilion or Huron. But anyway, that's Ruggles Reef right here, where my cursor's at. And pretty popular walleye spot. And used to be super popular for bass. But a lot of people have pulled away from it. And so hopefully this will help you out. I'm going to give you the exact spots where I've caught these fish. So first, let's start. So this is the castle right here. Everybody uses this as a reference point, and I'll show it to you on Google Maps here. It is, if I can find it. Where the heck is it at? Right here. So that's the castle. You can see it pretty well from the water. You can't see it from the road because he built a berm. The guy that built this place built a berm around the whole place. But you can see that pretty well from the water. And just so you know, there's some nice largemouth hanging around this break wall here he's got built. Never seen really a boat. I never seen a boat in here or anything like that. But you can fish. I fished the outside of these break walls. There's some nice largemouth hanging around there. But anyway, let's get on to the smallmouth. So straight out from the castle. Before I even get into that, so spring. I'm gonna go over spring and summertime. I've never fished this in the fall. In the springtime, I've done really well. Now I'll do like a combo trip in the spring where I jig for walleye and fish for smallmouth. And I pretty much find them in the same areas. together. So when the walleye are spawning, I'm fishing 9 to 15 foot of water, something like that, jigging. What turned me on to the smallmouth over this way during the jigging time was I was catching a lot of smallmouth alongside the walleye and marking a lot of fish too. So 9 to 12 is my target depth for smallmouth in this area. Now, if you do just go target smallmouth in this area, just be aware you catch a lot of walleye, which I don't think anybody really minds. But you'll catch a lot of walleye alongside the smallmouth if you're just smallmouth fishing, and then vice versa. In the springtime, 9 to 12, that's where I'm fishing, and that will hold true this whole shoreline. I pretty much start at the castle, guys, and then work my way to Vermilion, the breakwall in Vermilion. So I'll fish this whole area. I'll either launch at Cranberry Creek Marina, which is right here. It's $7 pay ramp. I think it's $7 last time I was there, and then or the Huron ramp. You can launch at Vermilion. It's a long idle out of that river, so and it's a straight shot from where I'm coming from to get to either the Huron ramp or Cranberry Creek Marina. So Cranberry Creek's nice if it's not busy. You can just you got straight access to the lake. There's no idle. So anyway, so 9 to 12 in the spring, and then as late spring comes and those fish start moving out into the summertime. Now these spots are through July. So after July, I haven't really fished in this area, but I know it can be really good during the spawn and after the spawn into those early summer months. So late spring to end of July, I've done very, very well on these underwater points. Now, this specific spot that my cursor is on is very, very good. So you can fish anywhere. None of these fish that the way they're grouped up on this spot is I've got several waypoints in here and the dates marked of when these fish were stacked and where, and it's all in this tight little circle right here. So, and obviously you'll see this hump, and I've got this hump marked, and I've caught a limit of fish off that hump before. Basically, I'm setting my boat right here, and I'm casting across this point in 17, depending on the water level of Lake Erie. Fish this whole area right here. And when I first started fishing this area, all I did was blind cast. I pulled up, saw a few on the side imaging, didn't know if they were walleye, didn't know if they were sheephead, catfish, whatever. But I started casting tubes in this area, and I pulled 20 pounds off of this spot with one other guy in the boat in 30 minutes. And it was lights out. And I said, holy crap, I don't know if I just stumbled upon it by accident or what. I mean, I saw fish, but I didn't know what the heck was going on, and I didn't know what kind of spot it was until I had won a tournament out of this spot. So I won a small club type tournament out of this spot, and then I won a larger tournament, a lot larger tournament out of this spot. And that was 2 years after I had won the club tournament out of this spot. So, something about this area, I'm sure this is their first stop before they head out to 25 or even deeper. I'm sure this is their first spot, their first stop after the spring. Now, I have ran to this spot other times, and there not be fish at the same time frame that I'm talking, end of June, July, when tournament season starts. So when I've run over here and the fish aren't here, what I do is I look at my Navionics and look right over here. Same underwater point. I come over here, catch those fish there. They just moved, is what they did. So, and that hump, like I said, is good. But that spot right there, is worth a look every time. If you're in the area, look at that spot. Even if you don't see them on your graph, I'd make a few blind casts in that area just to check it, As July got a little later and into the first part of August, so late July, I fished another tournament. I didn't place in the tournament, but I caught a nice limit of fish out here. Went to this spot right here, cast it around, caught 1 4 3/4. Thought it was going to be a good day. Spent too much time here. Looked over here, didn't catch a fish. As soon as I slid out to 25, I started marking fish. Thought they might have been walleye or something, in July, them walleye like that, like Ruggles, this whole reef all the way to Vermilion, really. And started catching them out here, smallmouth. It got a little tough on me because they were individual fish. They weren't really grouped up. They were kind of they weren't even swimming around. I would just see them stationary, single fish. I was casting around all the way down through here. This whole 25-foot contour I fished that whole day to scrounge up 5. And what ended up working for me was that live sonar. So basically, I was just trolling, and it was a nice, flat, calm day. So I didn't have to deal with the waves or anybody. And a lot of times, you won't have any boat traffic over here either. So I started using that live sonar, and I was just going down this 25-foot contour, panning left and right as I was trolling forward, and ended up catching a limit there. So if they're, and that was late in July, so those fish were probably looking for that cooler water, and that's probably where the bait went, was out to 24, 25, 26 foot of water where I was catching them at. But this spot right here, worth a look in those 2 months, the month of June and the month of July. Obviously, your tournaments don't start till the 3rd week of June, but you can check it out, see what's going on in the area. Then later in July, where I caught 3 of those 5 fish when I was fishing that tournament was right here. This whole area right here. I didn't catch them up in 20. I didn't catch them up. I caught them after the drop off. So right in here, live scoping. And that was the most grouped up I had seen the fish that day, and that was very late July. That might have been the last weekend in July. And still, they weren't really like stacked on each other. I caught them within 50 yards of each other. So that's a good area to try. Now next, moving back shallow. You guys see these rocks marked right here? These are single boulders and rock piles that are out here. Now in the springtime, even in June, I've caught some of these smallmouth up here in 5 to 8 foot of water. Up around these rocks, not necessarily on these rocks, but around these rocks. So, like I said in the comments, what do you guys want to see out of these videos? Do you want to see more of this stuff on spots to try? And I know, you guys will probably run to these spots and hopefully catch some fish and stuff like that. But I want to keep it coming, and hopefully I can teach you guys how to, how to look for this stuff and maybe where you fish. Because like you can replicate this where I was live scoping in 25 foot of water. You can head up to Peely Island and replicate this out here, in some of these spots out here where these fish are roaming, especially over here where it's just a big rock flat, the entire west side of Peely. You can replicate that up here. So hopefully that's what I'm hoping that you guys are getting out of these videos. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys want to see? And I'll have some actual fishing videos coming in the spring for smallmouth. Okay, thanks. please like and subscribe if you liked the video.